Morning, everybody. Good morning to a windy day, cloudy day here in the Philippines. Of course, it's rainy season. That's the way it's going to be, right? Well, this is our final week before we head over stateside. Now, we're not going to, at least we're not planning to be gone for a long time. So that's going to be pretty nice. If everything works out in the next couple of days, Bill and Rose are going to be here and they're going to house sit for us. Now, twist of events. I tell you, some of you expats that come here, even my friends, I just shake my head, try to give you advice, try to point you in the right directions, and you come here and you do all the things that you probably shouldn't be doing, just making a bigger mess of things for yourself. But Bill got here. I'm gonna rag on my friend Bill just a little bit. He got here, his girlfriend's up in Manila, great girl, seems super nice. We like her, we enjoy her. Her name's Rose. But she lives up in Luzon and we're down here in Visayan region. Well, he's still pretty new off the boat here, right? He's only spent basically vacations here. He's not lived here yet. He's only vacationed here. He has really the most minuscule experience here. But instead of taking the rock solid advice and listening to me, he's going to renegade it on his own, and it's going to cost him a lot of money. Isn't that kind of what some of us vloggers are for? We're supposed to help you overcome a bunch of those hurdles so that every person comes over here don't run off the plane straight into a concrete wall without a helmet on and smash your head. Yeah, where you don't run right into the coconut tree and the coconut hits you in the head. So he all of a sudden buys a vehicle up in Luzon. Well, why are you going to buy a vehicle up there when you're going to live down here? Now you got to pay to ferry it down here. Probably in his thinking it's really cheap, but it's not cheap. It is not. And he found out real quick when he checked the prices, and he's like, I'm like, yeah, exactly. Did you get the proper paperwork so that you can transfer that ORCR? They don't really call it a title here, ORCR. You know, I told him things like you're going to need his ID copied on 3 pieces of paper, and he's going to need to sign each one of those 3 times. 3 copies of the ID with 3 original signatures on each copy. Not you just sign on one and then make 2 more copies. It's all got to be original signatures. Is it a white plate or is it green plate? It's green plate. I'm talking about the license plate, okay? it's a green plate. I said, unless they change the law, and I don't know of them doing it because we deal with some of this ourselves. Where you buy the vehicle with a green plate vehicle is locked to that region. So it'll say a lot of times on the plate, you know, region 1, region 2, region 3, 4, 5. We're in region 6, for instance. And that's the old system. And that plate is locked to that area. So if he brings it down here and he goes to LTO here to register that from out of the area, he's going to have to go down to a different office. They're going to have to send all of that paperwork off back up to where he came from. And then they're going to, this isn't just changing the name on the ORCR. This is also every time you register it. And they're going to send that back up to the office that it originated from. And then they're going to snail paste process it. And they're going to snail paste to send it back. And maybe by the time they send it back, it's already time to do it again. Swear to God, swear to God. So it's a nightmare, and you gotta just go by there all the time. Did my paperwork come in? Did my paperwork come in? Did my paperwork come in? They're not gonna mail it to you. They're not gonna call you and say, hey, it's here in the office. Yeah, come on, wake up out of that dream. You're going to have to chase it, and that means it's gonna be an ongoing stress and time to chase that all the time. All the time. And you're going to constantly wonder, do I even have paperwork for this vehicle? Now, he could probably drive it because he'll have receipts that he's done it all. But man, it is, it's not so easy. And then the next thing is, and I'm kind of ragging on my friend. I love him, but I'm ragging on him a little bit because I want you guys to learn. I don't want you to get off the plane and take off running goofy and run into a wall, okay? I'm not trying to throw his business out there. He's my friend. He should know he's friends with a vlogger. It's going to go hit public. That's why I'm telling all of y'all, come here and slow your roll, man. Man, walk before you run. And I got friends that's lived here for years and don't own a vehicle. I went for years here in the Philippines without owning a vehicle. How many years did I go without owning a vehicle? Coming here, 6, 7, maybe 9 years in. Yeah, probably 9 years of me in the Philippines before I ever owned a vehicle. And I started at the bottom, man. I bought a rust bucket. I mean, I bought a hoopty. Now you got to slow your roll, take your time, find where you want to be, buy the things that you want in that area. Why are you going to buy them up there and then ship it all down here? And let me tell you, Roro from Manila to down here to Iloilo and some of these other islands, you know, heading to Bacolod or heading to any of them places, even taking, if you want to bring it all the way from Manila to Cebu, it can get expensive. Now, some of those places you can drive way down Luzon, say like way down Legazpi or something, and then hop those shorter ferries across to the islands down there. But for like us or Bacolod, man, you're going to have to pay for some distance over water. And man, they're going to charge you seriously. There was a company called Starlight. That's who we use bringing this boat here, my truck and boat. And they are no longer in the Iloilo port. So what it leaves coming directly into our port from up there is to go, and to go is high. They wanted to charge him as much for his SUV on to go as Mel and I paid for our pickup and this long boat on Starlight. You got to do your homework, slow down, be smart with your moves. So anyway, let's go back to another thing about slowing your roll. He jumped in to rent a house. I found out now that he's backed out on that house that he's actually already gave him money. He's already made an agreement with him, but he's backed out on it, and he's taken us up on our offer to come just stay here for a while. Find your footing, you know. Get a chance for your equilibrium to balance out instead of just making all these fast decisions. And by no means don't try to keep up with what I'm doing or what some other people are doing, because we're all on different budgets and situations. Just find what you can afford that's your happiness. Do not try to keep up with the Joneses or the Hightowers or anybody else. Instead just ride the benefits of what I have for free. Yeah, don't duplicate it. Just enjoy it with me, because I will certainly share it. I enjoy friends here, and there's more than enough room, and I would be happy for them to be here for a while they get their true bearings about them and get settled in. I think he's listening to me, and that's a good thing, I hope. And I want him to be successful here. I don't want him to be one of these that they make a bunch of mistakes. There's a lot of foreigners do this, a lot of expats. They will come here and make mistake after mistake after mistake, and they'll find a bad girl that will bleed them for money, man. They can be professionals at working you. And there's a lot of good girls that don't do that. There's a lot of really good people that don't do that. And that's true anywhere in the world, any country in the world. It's you that's got to be aware. It's you that's got to be smart. And you know what happens is that they'll make all these mistakes, these expats will. And then they'll lose their butt, and they'll find themselves either living in some very horrible conditions, or returning back to US broke and living in very horrible conditions, or with family, and they'll blame it all on the Philippines. They won't own up of their own mistakes. They'll blame how it's just scammers and it's this and it's that and all. Most time you scammed yourself, man. You scammed you. You got your head in a cloud. You got smitten over a girl. You got your brain wrapped up that everything's cheap here, and not everything's cheap here. Groceries and electricity and a lot of that stuff, gas, it's the same prices, if not higher, and most of the time higher than it is in the United States. And rents are getting higher here now. So you've got to realize that you're going to have to give up some comforts to live that quote cheap life, okay? And it's not a bad place. It's really a good place, but you've got to keep your head level, all right, man? And that's my advice to all of you, man. Slow your roll, just like we are when we're a baby. We start out being held, and then we're put down on the floor and we crawl, and then we figure out how to stand up, and we wobble around and we walk, and then eventually we run. And you're several steps away from running, so take your time or you're gonna fall down and hit your head.